Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Mat. Today we have a very special guest. She is one of my really close friends. She is my business partner. She is also an owner of multiple businesses. She's a mother of 3. She is a fellow wellness enthusiast, girly, all the things. Yeah. And with no further introduction, we have Rochelle Humes.
I always forget I'm supposed to wait to talk until that. I'm like already interjecting.
I know, but I always feel weird when people do the intro because I'm always like, oh, I want to say thank you.
Oh,
I don't want to
really
sound
kind.
like I'm not.
And you just sort of hear like, me?
Yeah. I'm so happy we're finally doing
I
this.
know.
It has we had it in the diary a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you remember we had a fire alarm in our building?
Oh my, I just never forget that day.
Yeah.
I feel like, wasn't I doing a fitting
You
for a
were
TV
doing
show?
something. It wasn't going to work that day.
Turned up outside of the building like in not wearing very much because I was like, is this an actual fire?
I don't think you had shoes on.
Yeah,
You were
I didn't have shoes on. I didn't have shoes on.
You thought it was a real fire.
Yeah, I listened to those fire drills.
So I'm so glad we're doing this. We are going to talk about, we kind of do a bit of a 360 catch up, almost like an extension of our normal conversations. But I want to cover business. Selfishly, I was just joking before asking for a friend, want to cover motherhood tips.
Yeah, ask away, girl.
And I want to go into kind of begin by going into your wellness philosophy and how we actually met. So because they're kind of combined. So how did we meet?
We met through a mutual friend of ours, Caris, who we've both worked with for many, many years. And she knows how much I've been a fan of Pilates, and she was like, you have to try Bryony's, you have to try Bryony's. And I think she started, it was relatively new, wasn't it? Your app and, your business. And I was just, okay, I'm in. And I remember Caris saying to me, she's the only person that's transformed my abs. And I was like, where's her details? Thank you. And then it was just pretty instant from there. I think I remember saying to you, the first time you come over to my house, I remember saying, right, so just tell me, because I'm always obsessed with like, what makes a woman feel good? What are you doing? What are you taking? Where are you going? What are you eating? And I'm obsessed with like feeling my best. So I just remember saying to you, like, right, give me a routine. What should I be buying? What have I not got in my cupboard that I need? Yeah. And I love that's always still one of my favorite things to ask you or to ask anybody that I know is kind of like wellness obsessed.
That's one thing I love about you is that you're so obsessed with bettering yourself, whether that's through business or wellness, but you're very kind of tapped into these little like hacks or daily routines, and you love it, and I love that, and we really,
and I think we're just both really curious, aren't we, with that? Like, I'm not scared to ask somebody, like, I want to know. I don't want to gatekeep. If someone asks me, I'm telling you right back. Like, I just think, why not? Like, we've all got a chance to feel our best.
And I remember the first day we met, and when I came over to yours to train you, and then I went home and I sent you like all these like meal suggestions.
You did.
And like
you sent me links, you sent me like supplements, and I remember like it becoming my Bible and being like, did she say this one? Like anytime I'd hear something new. And I think we instantly bonded over that, over Pilates, over Matcha.
And you were renewing your vows.
That was the reason that I sort of I didn't expect to become your friend almost.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It was like I was kind of introduced to you to train you in the lead up to your vow renewal in Lake Como.
Absolutely, that's exactly.
And we went all in, and what started as me and you became like Marvin started dabbling in a bit of Pilates. And then the kids joined, and they were so. I was so shocked. I remember they were so focused for an hour on the mat. They were genuinely doing a workout.
I don't think Blake was as big then. I think you struggle with Blake.
Blake was kind of just popping his head in every now and then, but the girls were just so into it, and it was just such a nice thing. And then we had like friends join us, and it became like such a
little club. It
did. It was
really
so nice.
Felt really nice. And you know what's so interesting is the girls still love doing it with me.
Aww.
Like they do. Like I went out to Reformer this morning, so on a Thursday I go to Reformer, And then every other day I do the mat. And I was like, Ella was like, are we doing Pilates this morning? And I was like, I'm going to class before work today. So yeah, she's
so cute.
it's so funny. It's definitely our little thing as the girls, and it kind of brings us together. It is really nice.
But you are someone that is really consistent. And I think that is the biggest problem with the fitness industry. People struggle. We were talking earlier about the whole motivation thing, the conversation behind motivation. And people often ask, like, how do you stay motivated, or how do you even start to feel motivated versus, you know, creating that daily discipline? And I think you have such an innate discipline and consistent nature. Is that natural, or did you?
Do you know what? It's so interesting. I was speaking to my mum the other day, and apparently, yes, like it's something that I've always been
determined.
I've always been determined. It used to be in terms of like me going to like my performing arts classes, and then I wanted to be really good because I wanted to help the young ones. And but I've always been. I remember I used to get my mum, how funny is this, to pretend to my friends' parents that I was grounded, like all the time. So they probably thought I was so naughty. But because I didn't want to like hang out, I just wanted to go to the classes, and but I felt a bit embarrassed about it. But it's sort of something that's really celebrated now. But at the time I remember being like,
so cute.
Can you tell them that I can't go to this and I can't do that? So I would pretend, and they were like, she used to say to me, either your friends think I'm really mean, or their mums think like, let's keep her away from our kids because she's always grounded. But I just really I was embarrassed that I was so passionate as a kid. And I really clearly remember that. Me and my mum were literally talking about it yesterday.
Where did that come from? Did that come from, because I know your mum is such a strong woman in your life, and she's so amazing. Do you think that came from her? Do you think that came from your upbringing, experiences?
I don't know where the discipline, because my mum isn't very disciplined, actually. My mum's quite I'll start something and I'll get nearly there, and then I'll like she won't, and she, you know, and she'll openly say that. I think my persistence in terms of like my mum's kind of motto was always like, shy kids don't get sweets. If you don't ask, you're not going to get. And, you know, sort of don't take no for an answer, but in the most positive way. And if somebody says no, let's try the next person. So she was she didn't put any limits on me. There was no sort of glass ceiling. So I did really feel supported in that way. And I think she gave me the confidence. But the kind of consistency, I don't know where that's come from really. But I do have moments where I fall off. But I know that I operate as like to the best version of myself when I'm consistent.
When you fall off, what do you do to get back? Other than text me and ask me for a month-long plan before you do the count.
Do something. I just really, but I'm almost like I'm looking for you to go, right.
Come on.
Like, I almost need a bit of a sergeant major.
Yeah.
Like I need like Trunchbull energy.
But
I'm going to put you in the chokey if you don't. You know?
Yeah.
I kind of need that. And that, like, we talk, don't we, about like accountability partners and I do. I'm good. I just need a push. And my inconsistency, if it's there, will come because I'm really busy and I feel a little bit overwhelmed and I feel a little bit spread thin, which is actually when I need consistency. That's the irony of it, is that's when I actually need that time for myself and those routines more than ever. But when life gets a little bit on top, annoyingly, that's the first thing that will slide a bit. Yeah. But I've become, particularly this year, really, like, I've really sort of set boundaries for myself in where if work is really busy or life is really busy, that's where I've like got even my team around me to remind myself not to let that slide, because I'm just better. I'm happier. I can handle like external noise better. And I'm just better when I take that time for me.
I also feel like from an outsider, you almost put yourself into autopilot when you go all in. You're in autopilot.
Yeah, I'm in.
Aren't you?
I'm in.
You're
I'm
like
so in.
Completely locked in.
You don't need to remind me. When I've decided I'm in, I've gone.
When you wake up, you don't even get out of your pajamas. No. You get straight on. You make your lemon water. Talk me through what you do.
You know. I know. You're so right. Have you been watching me? No, that's exactly what I do, because I just think I'm almost like eliminating any noise or any problems that might come in the way and distract me not to get on with it. So the night before I go to bed, like like how you and your husband lock up the house or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, Marv, have you locked up yet? And he's like, no. Or if he has, I'm like, quickly. And then I'll lay my mat out. I'll literally put the iPad or the laptop there.
Really?
Like down to like the ball, because I don't know what you're going to tell me. I haven't decided the class yet. But like the ball, the ring, the house, it's all there. And then I do it.
I love that.
I sleep in a sports bra, like a really firm, supportive one.
Yeah.
I always got sort of advice to do that, and I do. Like when I'm going to sleep now, I put my bra on.
Wait, hang on. I need to know which sports bra. I sleep in a Skims
Well,
one.
I now sleep in a Skims one now that they exist. But like
is it called a sleep bra or something?
you know, like a really support. I don't feel like I'm ready for the night without like strapping them in.
Yeah.
And I think someone told me once that like it helps lift them and keep them lifted for longer. And it's like just always stayed in the back of my mind. So I'm basically ready. So I've got like, and then I'll put my pajama bottoms back on, and that is like my route to the kitchen is that. So I literally go and I'll have a lemon water and I just land at the mat. And I just do it because I'm that person that will like lay my outfit, the kids' uniform, everything out the night before. Because things play on my mind at night thinking, oh, I've forgotten this, or oh, the water bottle. So if I can just do half an hour running around in all departments.
It is almost like systemizing things, isn't it?
To just switch my brain off, because if I don't do it, or like, you know, we've all had those nights that we've had a couple of margaritas and I've not done something for the next day, but it'll wake me up.
I miss those nights.
And I bet you do.
We'll get them back.
Bet you do. They'll come back. Listen, you will love them more than ever when the baby comes.
Newfound appreciation.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's just, and people say it's so organised. It's actually not. It's for me, it's like I'm trying to just
reduce the barriers.
Tomorrow morning, and that's the way that I get through, and the way that I actually sleep properly, because it's done in my brain.
So it's almost like you're putting yourself in autopilot. Like put one foot in front of the other, and everything's just there.
I'm like leaving crumbs for the next day, so I can just find them when I'm half asleep.
I love it though, because also if there's too much time, and I'm guilty of this. If I'm a morning person, so I like to get my workout done in the morning, but occasionally I don't do it, and then I'll be like, oh, I'll do it later, and you'll push it and push it and push it, and
Kicking
then
it down the road.
you make it such a thing in your head, don't you? Whereas actually, if you just do it without thinking, and I feel like you're that person.
And that's the quiet, and this might become that way for you when the baby gets here, or when they get bigger, that actually that's the quiet time in my house, because it is now so routine, because everyone's at school and they do sort of wake up at the same sort of time. Where Alaya is, you know, she's 12 and a half.
How crazy.
She wants to go to sleep later than me. And I'm like, I'm just like, come on, everyone get to bed, because I actually want to sleep. So you actually lose, the older they get, more of your evening time. It used to be like 7 bed.
And then
the night is ours, and it's sort of creeping back into us. And now I'm finding that morning is so sacred for me. And we're talking like 5:30, 6 before they wake up at like 6:45. But that time has become like precious.
Sacred.
Yeah.
What would you, because I feel like you've done so many different kind of like iterations of wellness, and you've been on such a journey. I mean, you've lived a million different lives, haven't you?
I have.
Going from being in a girl group to then having your own business and all these different things, and motherhood. What do you now feel like at the ripe old age of 36? No. Looking back, like obviously you've tried a bit of everything. What would you say now is like your wellness philosophy?
God, that is such a good question. I think because I've tried, put it this way, I think if you talk about like me and the girl band, I don't think I would have I think I would have laughed if you'd have showed me a clip of this interview, if I could like see into the future, because I don't think I would ever have thought that wellness looked like getting up at 5 a.m.
Wow.
I'm not naturally a morning person. Like I've forced myself to do it because I want the time for myself.
Right.
So I think wellness to me looked like trying something new, heading to a spa, going out for a walk, like, because I didn't have responsibility. I had to make sure I turn up and show up on stage, but like there was no one kind of, it wasn't really set to us. Like we found our own way. I think wellness is around now so much more. And we lived in LA for a period of time, and I think that's when I really opened my eyes to like, I remember juice bars was such a big thing, and it wasn't like a thing here. It just wasn't.
So true.
So I think living in LA for that period of time, which was going back now 2012.
Yeah.
That really sort of, I think, turned the dial for me in terms of like, I've always eaten well. I think that's one thing I'll say about myself. Like I'm that person that's like, oh God, I need loads of veg to, like, I can feel when I'm missing certain things in my body.
You're very in tune.
Yeah. But I think living there for that period of time, they would just seem so much more ahead and, you know, super advanced in comparison to us in terms of what was like easy grab and go.
Yes, yeah.
Like we'd be in the girl
like you
band,
say, the juice bars were
like
not.
now, like you've got Joe and the Juice on every corner, or, you know, somewhere where you can find a quick juice. But then it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it's so true. And were the other girls in the band also kind of like beginning to appreciate wellness, and like, were you almost all in it together? Were you on your different kind of journeys with it?
At that time, I think we were on different journeys. I think, look, we were young, like we were
So
going
young.
out, like we were kind of, it wasn't really, if
focus.
we had a gig in the evening, for example,
Yeah.
and then we had one the night before, and then we went to a club afterwards, and then we got in at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh my God.
We didn't
Can you
have to be up until the gig that night. So if we're on tour was our favourite times because our days were really our own.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you're in promo cycle, you're up to promote a single on early television, or you're doing
And then you had
radio,
to do the evening things
and then
as
the
well.
evening as well. But when you're on tour, you're pretty much left in this tour bubble, which means that you kind of get up and go and look around that local city, and you go shopping, or you go. But really, if you're in a hotel and you want to be in your room and have room service and watch a box set until your call time, that's what you did. So I think we just, when I look back, I'm actually pleased that I revelled in that for quite a long period of time, because
just a different
life
part
isn't
of your
like
life.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's a different era of you.
Yeah, but I think in terms of like my philosophy of wellness, I would say that I'm really sort of into, balance is a word that I think that I struggle with because I just don't think it exists in terms of like balance in life. But in terms of wellness, I think balance is really key. So like in terms of when people go, how do you balance work, mum, life? I don't. Like something's great, something's not good, something's great, and it'll be like one or the other. Yeah. And that's the truth. And like, you know, by us sitting down now means that I'm not on the school run today. So like you're either like doing great at
that makes me
that's fine, don't worry. It's all right, Marvin's there. They've got a dad. But do you know what I mean? So I think like in that I'm really realistic, where I just don't think it's a thing. Yeah. And I just love that women are speaking more openly on that now. And I think it's the idea of like, we're glowing with a bump with like a brood of children behind us and on the cover of Mother and Baby, and we're like, the balance. And it's like, I just
baked a cake.
I could never front that, because I'm not the face of balance in terms of life. Because some weeks I sit down on a Sunday and I go to Marv, wow, let's hold on to our hats this week, because
buckle up.
If we make it through this, we're gonna have done well, and we always do. Yeah. But something is push and pull. But in terms of wellness, I think balance is quite key for me, and I think I strive for, like, I suppose like balance over perfection. Yeah. Like it's not always going to be perfect. But like I do have that balance there. But if I've gone out and I've had like a night with girlfriends, which is rare, but I've enjoyed margaritas and I've had all the pasta, and I've like had the weekend where I've not done anything, come Monday,
you're back on it.
I'm ready to be back in that routine.
But I think, and I'm so glad you said that, because I think that night with your friends drinking the margaritas, I think that's wellness. Yes. And that is living. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, like we love the routine so much. We love to come back to the routine because we've had those moments off routine.
Yeah,
and I think
agree.
We all like beat ourselves up when we're off routine, but actually that makes us appreciate our routine so much more.
I genuinely have no routine over the weekend.
No.
Like that's like for my kids, my family, my friends. And so come Friday night, it will be like, come over for pasta night, or however that looks. And then Sunday, we're like such a roast dinner house. Oh. So Sunday's a roast dinner regardless.
That roast that you posted.
I know. It's a shame you don't live here. I could have just, you could have come over.
This is a true story. You posted it, and then I was thinking about a roast for 2 weeks, okay? And
Welcome to pregnancy.
They don't do roasts in Denmark. So I knew, okay, in 2 weeks' time I'm going to be in London. And I'm having a roast.
It's just like,
and I'm not joking. We nearly missed our flight because of this roast.
Good
and I was
reason,
like, I don't regret it.
I take it. I take it. I'm in no rush. I've had a roast.
But yeah, you do it really well because you go all in on the weeks, and then at the weekend it's all about friends, family, switching off, like being a bit more present.
I think so, and I think that's really happened since I've had kids. Like the weekends are really sacred for me, and and I'll be running around. One's got a birthday party and a soft play, which is like also if you've had the Friday night with the girlfriends, soft play mornings at like 10 a.m. birthday parties. Like that's not a thing. Oh my god, that is not a thing that we like.
I've got that.
But you just wait. It's eye opening.
I'm gonna be like, go see Auntie Rod.
Yeah. She'll take you. She's
loves
a pro.
a 10 a.m. soft play.
What's great is when they get to an age where you drop and go. Fabulous.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. We'll have that.
It's a long way off.
When you're in that chaos, there's that background noise. It's just quite intense. But yeah, so they don't really. There's no kind of like routine in the weekend because they've all got different hobbies now, and we're just like taxis.
Yeah.
All weekend pretty much.
But you and Marvin are a really good team as well, I think, which helps.
Well, I think, do you know what? We really...
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, and it is the way it should be. My mum always tells me how lucky I am because she didn't have that with my dad.
Yeah.
So I do know how lucky I am. But equally, I'm like, no one would
say
he's
the lucky one.
But no one would say he's lucky because a mum's doing her bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of always got this like really weird kind of relationship with it. Like we'll go to an event, and you'll probably notice this, where they'll say to me, and we'd be together, they'll go, who's got the kids tonight?
Yeah.
And you're like, I wonder when you were DJing in Ibiza last week, did they ask you if you had who had the kids tonight?
Yeah,
like it's like
so
this
true.
weird idea of that, that men get a clap.
I know.
Every time, or they're like, daddy don't care.
Hands on dad. It's really weird. You never hear hands on mum.
But then I do appreciate that he is so hands on because I didn't have that growing up, and my mum didn't have that support. So I understand.
And not everyone does have that.
And not everybody does. So I'm grateful for our setup, but I kind of hate the way that it's like he isn't sort of entitled to be a good dad because it's absolutely what he should be.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you're walking around like, I'm going to be
him,
a hands-on mum today.
Such a good mum.
Or it's when they say, I'm babysitting.
Or it's daddy daycare. That's my favourite.
It's like, I'm like, I know, it's really weird.
Mad.
Okay, just to switch gears a little bit, because I have obviously watched you, from not knowing you and being close to you, I've seen your journey, in the public eye. But now being so close to you, I've seen your more business era come about. And now you've launched your podcast, you have My Little Coco, you have the RH group, you have so many different things, and now we have Cloudcha. I mean, everyone must say this, but I am genuinely interested in the nitty gritty of it because I feel like the cliche is like, how do you do it all?
Yeah.
But I want to know the productivity hacks, the systems that you have in place, things that your team has implemented that has really made a difference, small things, small or big things. I just want to know it all because it's a lot that you're doing right now.
It is a lot, and I think it doesn't. I'm a lot, so I feel like I'm so used to it.
You're a manifesting generator, aren't you?
I'm a manifesting generator. You told me that. Do you remember that day when we discovered that on my birthday?
And we went in.
Yeah, I love that. I think I can really put things in different boxes in my brain. So I think that is, so that is kind of, I suppose, a skill. And I think a lot of women can do that, actually. And I think that's why women are supposed to be great multitaskers. But what I will say is I try not to overwhelm myself because I do get really excited. So I have to know when to pull it back and know when's the time for that thing to shine, because otherwise it would all be happening at once. Okay. I've got really good at planning time for certain things. So for example, on a Monday, we're here in my office and we have like a general catch-up day across like our H group. There'll only be 3 or 4 of us in the office, and it is kind of going through what we might have missed on the Friday or just really sort of catching up. On a Tuesday, it's a non-negotiable. It's only My Little Coco. So nothing else. I don't pick up anything else. I don't do anything else. Yeah. And I'm there. I mean, yesterday, I moved it to a Wednesday. It's the only time because I was travelling. And I was like, guys, it's the only time I've moved it this year. But I leave and everybody wants me. As in, like, it's pillar to post energy, like numbers, data,
But
product.
that's so good because they know that's the day. Yeah.
And everyone sort of puts in their hour, or some things run over and that will carry over to the next day. Listen, I'm online all day, every day for my little cocoa. You know, that's the nature of what we do. But I'm in the warehouse, I'm there, and I find those days so important because I will write myself notes and I'll think, right, I've got to remember that and add to my list. And then the same conversations pick up, and whatever's happened, we all work on our sort of tasks all week, and then next week that's resolved, and then that comes off the list. So I think those days are really, really important. And I'll like sit there with design and feed in a load of stuff, and then like today I just checked my phone a minute ago, they've sent me loads of things to approve, but it's great because I had that time with them yesterday and we know where we are. So I think Tuesdays are really important. Wednesdays I try to keep loose. Thursdays are podcast record days. Right. That's what we do. And we do like 2, sometimes 3, which isn't kind of the best. Like 3, when I do 3 interviews, I'm like, oof, at the end of it. So 2 I think is great. Yeah. You feel like that's a good use of time. And then Fridays, we're all online, but we're kind of at home. You know, Ella has a lot of hockey and stuff on Friday. Or however that looks, if I can get to that, I will. Or we're building a house, which for all my sins. So I go to do house meetings on, you know, like whatever it is, or like I'll meet someone for a coffee, but I'm online. So I will work, but I'm not stuck in one place. And then the weekends are free. So my weeks generally look like that. So those Wednesdays, the ones that we leave open, are like, if meetings. I need to do a photo shoot or a meeting so we play with them. And I think we've got that sort of structure that sometimes things change. We can't, you know, that's life, or something great might come in and we want to make it work. But they're the days, and and it was Katie who worked with me that made me do that, because she was like, we're all a little bit all over the place. And then they have certain days that they'll do from home and they swap with each other. Right. So it actually...
I like the idea of doing those like clear days. So it's like Tuesdays is for this, Thursdays is for that's a really nice structure.
And then you know what headspace you're in. So I get up and I'm like, because you solely my little cocoa today.
As you said, you can't kind of like spin a million plates. It's quite good to go all in on one thing, and then everything else can kind of
you change your mindset, don't you, for each thing. And I think that's the only way, having that clarity that everything doesn't bleed into one, and then things get lost, and then you spread yourself too thin and you don't make good decisions for anybody.
Do you guys in the office use any like platforms or things that you find really help you with productivity? Like I use monday.com, for example, or anything like that. Do you?
The gang do. I'm going to be honest. Right. I'm not good on tech at all. I have started to really embrace AI because I know that we should, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And like for prompters and things like looking at copy for business, I love all of that. But in terms of organisation, that is like, I know how my days look, and I'm not, I'm
so more in the calendar. And
I'm
in the
old
notes
school with a diary.
Yes,
and a list.
I love that. I kind of do a bit of both.
Yeah. You're getting a little kick over it. I can see. Baby's like, hello,
I'm here. So Ladies Who launched when? Earlier this year?
First of January.
Did it? Oh my God, I love that.
Because I was like, I want it to feel like really positive going into the new year. And then we were like, when's the first Wednesday? And it was New Year's Day. And I was like, this is
wow.
Great.
Oh my God.
Like the stars aligned.
And how did that come about? Because it's so incredible what you've created. You're inspiring so many people to, you know, live their full potential. So how did that even come about?
So I am such a curious person. When I sort of got into the world of business, it was really by mistake. Like my background was being in a girl band, then, you know, hosting TV. And I knew I wanted to do something for myself, but I didn't actually know anything about what I was doing in terms of the business side, the whole kind of creative brand building. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
That's the fun part for me, but not for everybody.
No.
We love that. We buzz off of that.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people are like, oh no, give me numbers, but not Rochelle Humes. So I kind of just didn't, I remember learning everything on the job, like from like the kind of alliterations to like like the way people talk to being in, you know, what meeting needs to happen after the next meeting. You know, I literally was just like, okay, here we are. Yeah. And I'm ready to learn, but I don't. That side, I can build the brand. I can visually tell you how it needs to look, the products, the concepts, the team that are going to work on it on the day, and they're going to shoot it and they're going to capture it. All of that, I'm your girl. The other stuff, I don't know, but I want to be a sponge. And that was kind of always my approach. And I think I'm still very much learning on the job. Like, there's a lot now that I know and a lot that I could help other people with. But still, for me, I love nothing more than sitting down with another female founder and picking their brains. So it simply started in that place where I kind of, like, again, self-indulgently curious, because it's such a, when you're a founder, I don't know if you feel this, it is quite lonely.
Yeah.
Because nobody, even your husband, you can't expect them to be as passionate about it as you and and as obsessed, because you wake up, I think, oh, this could be, and you know, they'll sort of listen and get involved, but like it's not the keeps us alive, right? So I kind of love it when I would like bump into other founders at events and like go, how have you found this, and share stuff and whatever. And then I thought there were so many people that messaged me, and I was getting all these messages like, I don't suppose you'd be up for being a mentor. And I'm like, as if they're asking me to, like, I still don't feel that that's something that I would be, you know, even looked at in that way. And I thought I just would love to sit and have conversations with women. And then I would listen to other podcasts like Stephen Bartlett or what, you know, other business podcasts, but I would listen based on the guest that was on.
Right.
So I would search, I don't know, Bryony Bass. Yeah. But I would listen, I wasn't loyal to a show. I would listen to whatever you were on because I'd want to hear you talk.
Yes.
So there wasn't something that I stayed loyal to week in, week out.
You didn't have that go-to place.
No. So I kind of wanted to create that space for other women that felt the same as me. And I think we've sort of built such a community, and I feel so lucky that, and I know everybody uses that word and it's such a buzzword now, but it is so true. And there are so many women that have connected and helped, like people that work in marketing and people that have got a supply. I know you see them in our comments talking, or they've messaged us to say thank you because of this, I've met this person and now we're working together. And
that's so
it's
nice.
so nice, and that's what it's all about.
And bringing that kind of connection. And as you say, it can be really lonely, and you're like, oh my God, you're in the depths of it thinking, does anyone firstly know the answer? And secondly, is anyone kind of going through something similar? And it's so nice that you've created that space.
It's hard to be honest in that space too, because everyone's looking at everyone else thinking they've got it figured out. So
oh my God,
to give like advice and share, we do episodes that we call Launchbox, and they are like industry, we love them, industry insiders that come and just share their knowledge. It's not so much about their story, but you know, just kind of tangible tips that someone could listen today and put that in action. And I think the more of that we do, the better. We've got our first live event in January.
Oh my God, how
which
exciting.
I'm so excited, which will be a year of the podcast, and the kind of which I'm so excited, nervous about. But I just think I can't wait to get everybody together in that space and do a whole kind of day of like sort of TED Talks, inspiring conversations. And I think it'll be, I just want it to continue in that same vein, really.
And I think what's really nice about what you're doing is you're bringing this to women. I do think there are kind of like leaders, male leaders in the podcast space, but obviously we've got the likes of Alex Cooper, who we're talking about, who's amazing. But there's not that many, especially from the UK. There's not that many female podcasters that are doing what you're doing in terms of like wanting to inspire other people. So I think it's amazing. And I do think, not to generalize, but just from my own experience, we put so much pressure on ourselves, and especially when you are running a business. And I found it even now, like running a business and being pregnant, and you just constantly feel you're not doing enough, or you're doing the wrong thing, and all these things that you're...
But we all feel the same.
I know.
And that's one thing that makes me feel better, that every single woman, like we're like almost 50 episodes in across this year, and every single woman is, you know, feels, it has those same feelings.
And just figuring it out. And it's so nice to just be like, oh my God, I don't have a clue about this. Like, can you help me on this? And just share really openly.
And putting yourself out there. Like, people are like, the worst that someone will do is not reply to a message or not be able to help you, but connect you with someone that could. So I think
just go for it.
It's so important to like
send
those messages, ask those questions, because you just never know what you could get back.
Yeah, and don't be shy to ask for advice, because that's one thing I've really learned. Like, firstly, people love to be able to, well, firstly, people typically like to talk about themselves and their own experiences and everything, but also people love to be able to, like, if I've learned one lesson that's been really costly, for example, I want to make sure other people don't, just ask the questions. I think it's really good.
For sure.
And this episode will be coming out kind of as we're heading into December. And for me, and I know that you feel similar on this, January is such a big new year, new me, like all the things going all in on health and wellness, such a big moment, which actually we love. Like,
love it.
I love a fresh start. I love a Monday. I love a fresh start. New month, anything like that, September, the best. But one thing for me that I spend time doing in December, and I think you do really well, which I would just want you to share on, is kind of using December, yes, for all the social things and just for all the festivities, seeing your friends and everything, but also almost getting quite clear on your intentions for January.
Yeah.
So talk me through your December, because I know that you switch off.
I really do. And I kind of want, and that's the way I work, like I really want to wind down. So I kind of don't, and my team know that, like, I'm like, I want everything really done that there is left to do by like the sort of second to last week of November. Like that to me is like, and even for them, like we live such a sort of high paced, intense life that actually I'm like, let's have everything signed off. Let's be where we should be. And look, sometimes, I don't know, if we're waiting on something to land or a product to be here, like with TBC on a photo shoot, that will, you know, might move slightly. But I just like to stop.
Yeah.
And I think my brain never switches off. And for me, I find we like to travel over Christmas. And even if we're not traveling, we still don't work. Like it's like definitely like sacred switch off time. But for me, I find that I could go on holiday any other week of the year, and you can't rely on everyone else being off. We don't, not everybody that you work with, every contact, every supplier is having the same holiday as you. So you're always bothered. Like you won't ever switch off on holiday properly, because there will be an email if you check it. There will be but over Christmas, in that period, everybody goes. Yeah. So I'm like, everyone's off. It's the only time you're going to switch off. So that's like, if I could choose to not go anywhere all year, I'd choose to go away in that sort of Christmas period, just to sort of, or
properly
just
recharge.
to properly recharge. And I really see it as such an important time for us as a family, like that and this is, I mean, obviously I'm talking very much speaking to our industry, but in our industry it goes quiet. That's it. It's kind of, it's all done. Like I've shot TV specials, Christmas specials in August, right?
That's
like
crazy.
We've done it all and it's boxed off. So for us, we just find it so important to take that time. Yeah. And then I'm desperate to start again in January.
That's the other thing. And also having had that like organisation, and I would say that this is, I mean, obviously I have to do it to prepare for our baby being born. But I think making sure that you have a super effective, efficient last quarter of the year, to make sure you have all those things ticked off, so you can properly not only recharge in December, but if you are traveling or taking time off, I always find that if I've cleared space in my head, it allows me to be really creative. I always think of ideas when I'm off.
Well, because you're not in the doing, you've got time to go back to that. You've got that brain space to be creative. And I also think for me, it's a time to sort of, you know, everybody goes, new year, we're going to go into the new year and we're going to hope this happens. I think starting December, I really think it. I'm like, do you know what? Let me just think about, and I do it really consciously, like what didn't work this year? What am I? And I've almost like accepted it by that point. And I'm so into January because I sort of started in December thinking, okay, that is like, whether you've got a business or whether you haven't, whether you just want to sit with yourself and do that. I've always done it where in December I think, okay, these are my goals, these are but I do it before like the 1st of Jan, because I want to be in it then.
Because then you're in the flow of it, and it's like you want to kind of reassess first.
Yeah, and you almost celebrate to your new goals. Like you've got so many sort
your
of social moments
by then. You don't want to be going back. Yeah. What would you say, just given that we are kind of towards the end of the year, what was, it could be personal, career, what do you feel like was your biggest challenge of 2025?
Oh gosh, I would say my biggest challenge in like professional, I would say I've had real sort of team structure changes. We've onboarded new people, and that whole process is really quite tiring.
Yeah.
And anybody that's done that will know that it requires you to be doing more than you'd already do.
Yeah.
So like obviously your business is running and everyone's busy, but when you're onboarding new people and letting them know how the business works, everything in between, there's a lot more work that's
You're
involved.
kind of doubling
Yeah,
up
for
and
us
everything.
it's for the better. Like we've had a real sort of shake up, and for reasons that I actually didn't necessarily want. I didn't see it going in that way, but actually I think when situations happen with people, sometimes you need to know that there's a blessing on the other side. And 100%. I felt like I had a little bit of like, I suppose like business betrayal is probably like a way of putting it. And I feel already like a new human for actually ripping the Band-Aid off. And and I think sometimes something and you don't trust your own gut for a little while. And I feel now we've had a shuffle around, and I'm so excited for what the new year's going to bring. Then I would say personally, I am such an empath, but sometimes to a fault.
Yeah.
So I can really take the load of other people, and I love being that person, love being that friend, but I almost need to know how, and I've worked with my life coach on this, to not feel other people's trauma and pain so deeply, which I think is always, my mum actually was talking about it the other day, and she was like, you've been like that since you were a little girl. Like you'd watch something, you'd be somewhere and you'd hear something and you'd be like, oh mum, I'm really worried about that, Matt. But it would like give me nightmares or keep me, and I've always been that person. So I think I've just been working on like separating myself.
That's amazing.
From like holding on to it.
Yeah, Alea's a bit like that.
Alea is so like it, and I can see the me in her, and I think, oh, poor you.
But how nice that that's something you're working on, because she'll only benefit from that as well.
Yeah, and I think I've almost worked on it because I can see it in her too.
Right,
and I'm
so
like,
it's been a bit of a
I
mirror.
don't want to set an example of like, we put ourselves out to this level and we sort of go over, almost sometimes like sacrifice your own happiness because you want to be a really good friend, or you want to be all of that. So I kind of don't want her to do that. I want her to be caring, but I don't want her to be toxic about it, because I've definitely had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a line where you need to kind of know how to, I
switch
get
off
that.
a little bit.
What are you most looking forward to?
Oh, My Little Coco is going to have a really big year in 2026, and I'm so excited about it. I can't wait. There's new retailers that we're onboarding, and they're like big accounts for us, and new MPD, new product, lots of new launches. Last year was a quiet one in terms of like new products, because you get to a point when you're like, this is all great, but what's new? What's next? And MPD was actually slower. It was our slowest year for new product. Probably the slowest year that we've had since we launched. But I think it does get to that point. We slightly rebranded. We put consistency across the whole range. So I think for us now, like, this is a year of like, it will be like lots of new launches that will feel
I know about one of them, and I'm so excited.
Honestly, I'm so excited. So, and I feel like it feels like a real fresh start, because I've had change behind the scenes that I'm excited to embark on newness on the outside as well as newness on the inside. So it feels like quite weird that it was never supposed to go that way, but it feels
natural.
Perfect. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, and obviously we've just relaunched Cloudcha.
Oh my gosh. But there's a lot of newness, isn't there?
There is. This is like
a baby in
fresh
the gang.
energy.
Feels nice.
A lot of births.
Rebirths and new births.
We're birthing literal babies and business babies and all the things.
It's so exciting.
It is so exciting. Okay, let's do a quick fire round.
Oh yes,
I can't believe we're already at the end. Okay, so asking for a friend, but what is your best piece of motherhood advice?
Oh gosh, this is quick fire. Are you joking me?
Where to
right,
begin?
I would say with love, you need equal boundaries.
Okay.
So like, ultimately you just need to love. All you need is love. You'll figure out everything else. Like, and I know that you've got obviously, and I know you've got that in abundance, but boundaries are so important when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
And like, for you, for them, for everything in between, like making sure that like your word is your bond. So I remember, and I really learnt this with Alea, I remember there was this time where I would say to her, right, if you do that again, we're going to leave in a minute. Do that again, we're going to leave. Well, we never left.
Yeah.
And then one day we were at dinner, and I can't remember for the life of me what it is she was doing, and it wasn't actually that much of a big deal. But she did it again, and I got in the car and we left, and Marv and everyone was at dinner. And it was one of those days where I actually wasn't really bothered about being out. So it worked in my favour.
You made it happen.
But it really taught me.
Yeah.
And she was like, she only small, she was tiny. She was like silent in the car the whole way home. She like was crying, like, you know, just that sort of crying. I just wanted to go, oh God.
But you just stuck
with
it.
I think you can't throw out these like almost threats. I suppose that's what they are, aren't they? Like, if you do that again, you'll have this taken off you, or I'm going to take off your iPad, or whatever that punishment looks like. You have to have that follow through.
Stay true to your word.
Yeah, and I've always felt really passionate about it. And I saw Davina McCall speaking about it on the podcast the other day, and I was like, I love her. And it's exactly what I always, a bit of advice that I always give to my friends. And she put it so articulately. She said pretty much the same thing as that someone had given her that advice. And the way that she rounded it off, which is what I hadn't realised, I just felt that I had to do it to parent well.
Right.
But actually, kids operate better. They feel safer with boundaries.
And structure.
Because if I say to you, if you do that again, this is going to happen, in a term where it might be something that could really protect them in life. Like if you walk out in front of the road, it's dangerous because there's a car. You're making them feel safe by consistently having the boundaries.
Yeah, that's true.
And they don't have to be huge, but it's just having like making your word your bond. I would say that.
Okay, love that one. What's the best piece of business advice you've received?
Oh, I would say fail fast.
Ooh, love it.
Because if something's going to go wrong, and we've had a bit of that with Cloudcha, like just get on with it. Like, don't get in your head about it.
Keep moving
like
forward.
We had stock issues, and you know that was seen as a failure. It was a failure, but it was fast, and we're on and we're back. I think you can't dwell because it just leads. It's like the road to nowhere, isn't it?
I love that. What's the one book that's changed your life?
I say this all the time, but you know, guess what I'm going to say.
Atomic Habits.
Yeah, I just love it so much. It's just a book that I will recommend to everybody, that I think it reads well for everyone.
Yeah, it does, and it will have an impact on everyone.
Yeah, I really like. Is it Good Vibes, Good Life, or the other way around?
Oh,
by
yes.
Vex King.
Yeah,
I really like him.
Yeah,
and I feel like for people that don't read a lot, in like it's quite an easy book to process. Like his message is so poignant and so beautiful, but actually, you know, sometimes if you're like, I just want to read it and get straight into it, that's the book for you.
And I know that you're a huge podcast fan. So have you listened to a podcast episode on someone's podcast recently that you actually think, you know, like that you would voice note me and tell me, oh my God, I just listened, you have to listen to this one?
Oh my God, recently. Such a good one.
Because I love hearing that
all
myself.
I've been doing is like it's mad how little time that you have now. I always like a podcast in the car journey.
I listened just whilst you're thinking. I listened to the Mo Gaudet one on Stephen Bartlett about AI. That was fascinating.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, you need a good chunk of time.
Did you watch or listen?
I listen, and I'm always on a walk if I'm listening to a podcast. Also, another one that I can suggest in the meantime.
Tell me.
Davina McCall.
I love her.
Had Dermot O'Leary on, and I loved that episode.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was so, like, my friend actually sent it to me.
Her.
Yeah,
so
it was such a cozy episode, but also really motivating, really kind of thoughtful and meaningful. They're both amazing.
It was a Mel Robbins podcast, and she had Dr. Eliza Pressman on, and it was basically, it's such a good one when it comes to the way that you look at your relationships.
Ooh.
Like with friends, with partners, you know, but it's sort of like unlocks a part of your childhood. But it was a really good one. It's really, really, I mean, I love her podcast anyway.
Yeah,
I love her book.
Yeah,
I think she has great conversation. So yeah, I do. I like.
Okay, I'm going to listen to that tonight. And lastly, I love journaling. You know, I'm a big journal fan. and we have asked our guests to leave a journal prompt for the listeners. So something that you feel will cause them to either reflect or kind of dive a bit deeper into. What would you like to
I would say, when was the last time that you did something truly for yourself?
Oh,
Like, as in truly for you.
Yeah.
Like, not distracted, like present with yourself. Like, when was the last time you did it? And if it was like forever ago, why was it that long? Since you kind of sort of spoke to yourself a little bit.
I love that one. That's a really good one. We've not had anyone like that.
Have you not?
No, I love that.
I'm just so interested because I think we all think that we do, you know, these little bits, but that for ourselves, like, I think we're, like I was saying before about being an empath, sometimes it can be little things like your friend can say, do you want to go for dinner? Let's go here. But you might have wanted to go there. Or like, should we do this today? Or I really need a favour from you. Do you mind if?
Yes.
And like, it's so interesting that how often do you actually do something for you, truly for you, that actually fully makes you happy?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've loved this. We've had
this.
just
This
the
is so
ultimate
cozy.
catch up. Can we just like be on each other's podcast so we can just make sure we get time in? We're going to have to schedule that when the baby comes.
Also, I've just realised I've now worn this outfit for 3 podcast
It's
episodes,
a good job.
so
It's a good one, girl.
Hope you liked my
hope you like her new uniform.
aubergine outfit.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I will see you next week.